It's 3 a.m. You just delivered a savage Oscar-winning speech to the shampoo bottle. The imaginary opponent is destroyed. The crowd goes wild. But when the real conversation happens, you say, "Yeah, so weather's been weird." Why does that happen? Let's break down why your brain runs rehearsals and still loses opening night. Number 5. The Netflix director's cut fantasy. Your brain treats conversations like scripted TV. When you rehearse arguments in your head, you control both characters. You're the writer, director, and extremely smug lead actor. So the imaginary opponent says exactly the line you need. You pause dramatically, deliver the perfect comeback, boom, intellectual knockout. But the real conversations are not scripted dramas. They're improv jazz. The second the other person says something unexpected, your brain freezes like a laptop with 43 tabs open. You prepared for scene 4, line 2. They jumped to scene 17. Wait, that's not what I meant. Your brain practiced a courtroom drama. Reality showed up with a podcast argument. You lose because you wrote the script for 2 characters, and one of them refuses to cooperate. Number 4. The "there's a tiger in this text message" panic mode. You know that final message. We need to talk. Your brain immediately reacts like it just spotted a tiger behind the sofa. Heart rate spikes, amygdala screaming, fight or flight activated. So your brain rehearses conversations as emotional training drills. It's trying to prepare you for confrontation. You simulate the argument, you rehearse responses, you emotionally burn through the entire fight before breakfast. By the time the real conversation happens, your emotional battery is already at 3%. You already fought the argument 6 times in the shower. Now you're showing up emotionally jet-lagged. Science twist. Performance improves with some stress, but too much stress makes your brain freeze. Congratulations, you stressed yourself out before the match even started. Your brain rehearsed the fight so hard it accidentally exhausted the fighter. Number 3. The "everyone is watching me argue" delusion. Your brain thinks arguments are public performances. Internally, you're imagining the audience, people nodding, someone whispering, "Wow, he handled that well." This is the spotlight effect. You think everyone is paying attention to your delivery, tone, and verbal elegance. So, during rehearsal, you focus on how cool you sound. Pause. Clever line, perfect facial expression. Then, the real conversation starts and your brain tries to run 2 programs at once. Program 1, listen to what they're saying. Program 2, am I delivering this like the version of me I rehearsed? Your brain cannot run both smoothly. You're trying to win an argument while simultaneously directing your own documentary. Meanwhile, the other person is just trying to explain something about rent. The more you perform yourself, the less you actually listen. And arguments are won by hearing the other person, not auditioning for Best Actor. Number 2. The productive procrastination trap. Rehearsing conversations feels productive. You're pacing around your room thinking, "I'm preparing." Your brain releases a tiny hit of dopamine because it thinks you're solving a problem. But you're not solving anything. You're avoiding the real situation while pretending to prepare for it. Psychology calls this avoidance behavior. Even worse, your brain keeps the rehearsal running in the background during the real conversation. So while the other person is speaking, your internal narrator is still comparing real me versus rehearsal me. That comparison overloads your working memory. Information bottleneck. Now you sound slow, defensive, confused. You're trying to argue while your brain is live editing the rehearsal tape. It's like having a sports commentator inside your skull. Rehearsal feels like action, but sometimes it's just procrastination wearing a productivity costume. And finally, number 1, the perfect comeback groove problem. Your brain loves repetition. Every time you rehearse that perfect comeback, the neural pathway gets stronger. Neurons that fire together wire together. After enough practice, your brain becomes deeply attached to that exact scenario. You've trained your mind to expect a specific conversation. But real conversations are messy. They shift slightly, maybe the other person says something different, maybe their tone changes. Even a 10% difference can break your mental script. Now your brain struggles to pivot because it already memorized the fake version. You practiced dunking on a basketball hoop, and reality handed you a volleyball net. Your brain keeps trying to force the original move. The more you rehearse the perfect win, the harder it becomes to adapt to reality, and conversations reward flexibility, not rehearsed monologues. So why do you rehearse fake conversations? Because your brain wants control, predictability, safety. It wants arguments to behave like movies. But real conversations are messy improvisations with unpredictable humans, which is why at 3 a.m., you're a rhetorical genius, and at 11 a.m., you're saying, "Yeah, I see what you mean," while your brain quietly whispers, "Wait, where did my speech go?"